Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got the garage review for the new Spahpanzer. So this will be the Trailblazer, but that also counts for the new Tiger Shock, Rip Prod and Fast Track. Now, out of the four, the best two looking are the Rip Rod, if you ignore the 5 on the top, and the Trailblazer. And that's because they generally, you know, you've got the cars and stuff on it if you don't zoom in, but generally they look very similar to camos we've already got in the game. So these two Spahpanzers don't look that bad, honestly. The Tiger Shock and the Fast Track, well, we're just going to ignore those, especially since the Trailblazer is the one we're going to be looking at, and it's the one I've got gameplay for, because this is the one that will be in the season pass. This is the one that is a reward. So what do I think of this tank before I go into the stats? Well, it's a pretty good light tank. It's got a problem that we'll get into later in the engine power. It's very much like the British light tanks, where if it hits a tree it stops dead, which is quite bad. But generally the gun's nice. The mobility's, yeah, it's not the best, but it's usable. And it has a lot of, well, it's got good features generally that I like. So let's get into the stats of it. So what's it got? It's got 2 packages. You can see the second one's equipped at the minute because that's the last time I played it. So it's got the Autoloader and a single shot. So we'll go into the Autoloader first. 7.83 rounds a minute. It was about 18 to 19 seconds fully pimped on its reload, which is really nice. 240 alpha. 182 pen, 250 heat pen. The penetration on this gun is great. You don't have to worry about that too much. 2.2 aim time and 0.38 accuracy. So this gun is actually pretty nice. 2.2 accuracy, 2.2 sorry, aim time is slightly worse than this gun. Now this gun has the same pen, same accuracy. It's just got a slightly better aim time and better DPM. It does have better DPM. The reload's quite nice on this one. I think it was about 7 seconds fully pimped, something around there. I might be wrong. We'll see when we get to the gameplay. But it was very, very nice. So both choices, to be honest, between the Autoloader and the single shot, they're both very competitive guns. There's nothing like the Sergeant Slaughter where the Autoloader is just so much nicer for the burst, or the Stone Cold where the Autoloader is just 100 times better than the single shot. There's no point using the single shot on the Stone Cold, as I've been in previous videos. So it's your choice whether you want to use the gun capacity 720 clip on this, or whether you want to use the single shot where you can just keep firing all the time. It's, you know, it's pretty nice. It's a nice gun. We've got 410 meters view range, which is fantastic for light tank at tier 8, same as some of the other German lights, which is very good. The engine power is 230, like I say, but it's a very light tank for a light tank. This will be something that you can ram, sort of like the British light tanks, like an HMTV or whatever at the same tier. You can ram it and do quite a lot of damage to it. And yeah, let's go and look at that engine power. So it's got 24 horsepower per ton, but with only 230 horsepower, it really does struggle to go up hills at times. And like I say, if you hit a tree, it's game over. It's only got 58 kilometers an hour top speed as well, which is not that good. Yeah, it's not great, and it does kind of struggle at times to get up to that speed. Even though it's got good horsepower per ton, it doesn't feel that great. It's also the one that, if it gets shot in the back or towards the front, you'll probably lose your engine as well. So with the Autoloader, you've got 3 shots in the clip, 2-second intra clip, which is very, very nice. It means you get shells out quite quick. It's 19 seconds base reload, so I feel like it's just lower than 18 seconds to reload, fully pimped. So you've got 0.38 accuracy at 100 meters, 2.64 meters on the moving, and 1.67 at rotating. So let's see if that is different for the single shot. So yeah, see, 7 seconds base, it was about 6.2, I think, the reload, or something like that. 2 seconds. It's exactly the same dispersions for the different packages. Like I know with the Stone Cold and the Sergeant Slaughter there were difference between the two packages. But yeah, 8 degrees. Right, okay, gun depression on this tank, okay? 8 degrees of gun depression, it says right here. That's not strictly true. It's exactly the same as the Tier 7 Spahpanzer, okay? In that over the front it's about 5 or 6 degrees, and you get the full 8 over the side and the back, okay? So if you want the better gun depression, you've got to use the side and the back. You can't get it over the front. So it does make coming over ridge lines that little bit more awkward, but you're probably better to reverse over the ridge lines that you might see in the game on proc that I'm going to have in a bit later. So the turret traverse is, the rotation speed of the turret is 44 degrees a second. But with 52 degrees a second rotation speed on the tracks, it really doesn't keep up. It's like the T71 CMCD that you've seen on the channel recently, where its track traverse outdoes its turret quite a lot, so it does kind of struggle in that way. The ammo loadout, 1080, it doesn't have the same problem that both the HWK-12, which is the Tier 8 brother to the Spahpanzer 1C, it doesn't have the shell velocity problem. 1080 meters a second on the APCR, 1204 meters a second on the Heat, and 75 millimeters a second, 755 meters a second, sorry, on the HEP, which is okay. It's better. It's actually better than the shell velocity on all the other rounds in general on the other two tanks. So that's one thing I forgot to mention as well, is that it's got 102 millimeters of HEP pen, so that makes it very, very good at demolishing light tanks, because you can pen them very, very easily. So what do I run? I run repair kit, med kit, food, and then standard autoloader setup of optics, vert stabs, and vents. Because it maxes out everything. You get the best view range you can possibly have, the best DPM you can possibly have for an autoloader, and obviously vert stabs helps you on the move. It can't vert a gun ram. It can't fit a gun rammer, I should say, which means that the single shot, yeah, which is why I was saying it's closer to, it's above 6. If it had a gun rammer, you'd be looking at like probably 5.8 second reload, but it doesn't have a gun rammer, so it's just above 6 seconds. So all in all, it's a very, very good tank, and it's one that, like I say, it doesn't look very bad. It looks alright. I like it. I like the looks of it. It's okay. Like I say, the camo of it is very, very similar to other tanks in the game. Same as this one, except for the big 5 on the top. Generally, the camo is very similar to some of the Soviet ones, to be honest. Some of these, I think, it's the Soviet urban ones. So on the whole, it's a good tank, and is very nice that we're actually getting this for free. It's very, very nice. So, as always, everybody, I'll see you in the gameplay. So here we are, the Trailblazer, and we're on Prokhorovka. Now this is the replay without the autoloader, and it definitely plays differently without the autoloader than it does with it. Does it say 6.3 reload? It's not bad. It's pretty good. 240 alpha. It's okay. You can get a lot done with it. It's not like terrible. So this is what I was saying about both guns being competitive, because some tanks, the single shot, it's not very good in terms of its reload, and you just sit there going, why would I use this over the burst capacity of the autoloader? Well, if you're not a big fan of using the bursty autoloaders and you want to stick to a single shot light tank, this is good enough for you. So we missed that shot on that back chat, and we're just going to work this ridgeline. Now we're with Turkey, who is also in another Tier 8 light tank that is a reward tank, and that is the Becky Lynch. Now compare this to the Becky Lynch. It's something you might do because they're both rewards. I'd say the Becky Lynch is probably the better light tank, possibly. I think all round it could be better. I think the mobility of it is what makes me feel like it's better anyway. And the gun's quite nice, whereas this gun can be a little bit derpy. But on the whole, this is a very, very nice light tank, and it's very, very nice to be earning for free. I think, well, we do earn 2 of them. We earn the garish looking tiger shark, and we earn this one, which again, like I said in the review, it's not a bad looking tank. It's okay, and it's quite nice. I mean, I've seen, on quite a few times people asking for the old school SP1C back, with the 3-shot autoloader. So it's quite nice that they've done this, to be able to listen to what some people want. That's fine. I mean, who knows? We might see a tier 8 Bulldog, but with the 10-shot autoloader next. Could happen, might not. Who knows? They might add those sorts of things back. So, we've taken the bowl. Always a relatively strong position on proc. Not quite as strong as it used to be since they redid the map and basically increased the foliage covered down that bottom end. Means it's a lot harder at times to spot things. But that is what this tank is good for, though, because it's got 410 meters view range, and the fact that it's got an autoloader means you have to run vents and optics. If you run food, you've got brothers in arms, situational awareness, recon, you're breaking 500 meters view range very easily. You're probably looking at like 510, somewhere around that, which means you're just devaluing camo all the time. And it means that unless they're right at the far back, you might still spot them through the foliage because your view range is so oversaturated. And that's what's so good about it. That's why I love light tanks that do have that sort of extreme view range, because there's not often tanks that will be able to hide from you. So we're going to keep trying to put some shots into this Persian, because he is just obligingly sitting there and letting us shoot him. And he pops back up again. We pop another shot in, and like I say, this gun is not bad without the autoloader. I mean, we're reloading a decent amount. Obviously, we're not firing as quickly as, say, the Hurlenhund, but we're firing quick enough. I think we're very similar to the reload of an Aguila, which again isn't bad. So we're managing to pummel shots in very nicely. Obviously, the burst damage of the autoloader, like you'll see in the next game, is very, very nice to have, because you can just run in, gun someone down for 720, and then run out. And the reload on the autoloader isn't that bad anyway, so you can just keep rotating round and you're not out of the fight for very long. So again, we're trying to pop shots at people. That Dragon is going to get very, very annoying, because we've bounced off him a couple of times. I think Turkey was trying to take him out as well, and he just keeps bouncing our shots. So he's going to get a bit irritating. He's also going to become a bit of a pain for me in a bit as well. So like I said, we're still trying to pop shots at him, but APCR are getting those random auto ricochet angles on the Dragon. Because that is one thing the Dragon has, and that's the sort of angled armour which will just automatically bounce things because reasons. And with it being APCR and the 2 degrees of normalisation and all that, it will hit the angles and just bounce. So the Dragon can be a bit of an awkward customer at times, and we really just wanted to get rid of him. So we eat a shot there because we sort of backed up on top of the ridgeline. And although we were unspotted, it was quite obvious what we were doing and what we'd done, especially since we've done it a couple of times before. So we had a shot there, I think, from the Nomad that sat back there. Either that or the Pershing. Could have been the Pershing too. Artillery took a swing at us there, so we know artillery's somewhere around there. And then we spot this T-78. And we pop a nice shot at him, and we switch to the HEP rounds, because that's the one thing this tank does have, and that is fantastic HE, just like the rest of the German lights. So it's got 102 pen for like 330 alpha or something around that level, and it means you can just do some crazy amounts of damage to people, and it's very, very satisfying, especially with the autoloader, to pen full HEP clips. I did it to an ISU the other day, and it's just brilliant. You're just like, oh look, there goes like 900 and I think it was 980 of his health. It's very nice. So again, we were looking for shots of that Bone Shaker, but he was facing us, and with 189 pen, we're not going to go through the Bone Shaker's front. We try and pop a shot in the side of the Nomad's turret, but unfortunately we hit the front, which is extremely angled, and was angled away from us too, so that bounced. And we're just trying to keep popping up for shots. again, it's just looking for where you can get the next shot. So like this Bone Shaker's made mistakes. We've only got heat left, which, like I covered in the garage review, randomly has better shell velocity than the APCR. Like 1,000 meters a second on the APCR and then 1,200 on the heat is madness, really, to be honest. I think having heat faster than the APCR is a weird one. So that dragon pops over, and I was fearing that he'd have Hesh loaded, because if he had Hesh loaded, he could have killed me very easily. And we pop up, kill the Bone Shaker, because we've got to get rid of tanks that are threatening people. And since he was an easy takeout, that was fine. And I am kind of worried that that dragon is going to pop up and shoot me again. And I don't want to eat that shot because, like I say, I am expecting the Hesh. So I should have bolted, but I didn't. And lucky for us, he doesn't high roll, and he doesn't kill me. Now, we are lucky in that instance because he could have very easily killed me. But we're not sticking around. We're doing the whole what I should have done after he shot me the first time and getting out of the bowl. Because right here, he could YOLO over and shoot me. But at the same time, that would be too risky for him because he could get shot from lots of different places. Whereas in the bowl, he was fairly sheltered from everybody anyway. So we get a nice shot into that Pershing, and you can see how good the velocity is on these rounds. Because that heat round zoomed straight into that Pershing. And as I say, I just find it weird that the heat is faster than the APCR. It should be the other way around, but who am I to say? It is, but it's a nice feature to have. Now, but the Becky, aka Turkey, is on his way in to shoot the dragon. The dragon gets distracted, and that's when we can pop over and pop a nice shot into him and kill him. And that's revenge for shooting us twice. We're not having that. And we now can go after this SU-130PM and the light tank artillery. I was about to say Turkey and his light tank in the Becky uses the special HE round. Unfortunately for us, he bounces his HE round on the artillery, and we can go yoink, and that's ours. So that was a nice game on prop for this tank. We've got high caliber, ace tanker, Confederate, 4.2k damage, 1500 assistance, spotted 7 people, 103,000 credits made, and that's one thing that I've noticed with this tank. It does make quite a good amount of silver. It's pretty nice in that regard. It's generally making over 100k most of the time for me in games, and that's lovely. That's especially nice to have on a light tank. I mean, the silver bonus is only 50%, which is about average, really. But yeah, so we're on Dragon's Ridge now, and we've got the Autoloader. And this wasn't long after I'd got the tanks to use, and I think I played like an idiot at first, and then we get away with it somehow. And this is probably a good demonstration of what this tank can be like going up hills, because obviously Dragon's Ridge is just a map full of hills. That's all it is. It's a hill map. So we're gonna have to keep traversing these steps. And Becky comes over and tries to pop shot us. We get lucky that he bounces, because only having 20mm of armour, he's not going to bounce very often. And that's one thing, to be fair. If you're in a Becky Lynch and you come across these things, load your HE rounds, fire every 1.5 seconds, because you're going to pen these things most of the time, unless you get unlucky and hit the tracks. So we're coming for this Bulldog. We want to pop some shots into him. We get 1. We've got a HEP clip loader because we wanted to try the meme. We get 2 in, and we penned the first one. Well, no, sorry, we didn't pen the first one. We penned the second one. He penned us, but we got 400 damage on him, whereas we lost, 2 shots to him, so yeah, pretty much 300 odd damage. And we're out. We're reloading the APCR. We're trying to get up this hill. And then we spot the Becky. Well, the Becky over there gets spotted. I don't know if we spotted it. We get a nice shot into him. And then that guy dies. We've still got 2 shells left in the clip. And I'm contemplating reloading. But I actually see these guys are sat on top of the ridgeline and think, you know what? I'm not going to reload. I'm not going to drop the 3 clips. Turkey's saying he wants this Panther. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to drop a clip into him. So we track him first time. Pop a shot into him second time. And that is one thing about the 240 Alpha on this gun that's nice. Is the fact that you will track things like Panthers very easily. You won't just do one, you just won't shoot someone and then it does track damage only, or it does track damage and pens them but doesn't track them first time. So that's quite a nice thing. So this Panther's now in a world of hurt. He misses, we shut him down, and we're reloading again. Like I say, 16.5 second reload on this autoloader is very, very nice. If I had to pick between the two guns, I'd pick this one, because this one, for the burst damage, is so nice. Right there, Turkey savages that Becky Lynch. That poor guy was just, he didn't stand a chance against the turtle. Now, I get a bit ballsy with this Type 59-2. He puts a shot into us. He either fired HE or low rolled like mad there. I think he must have low rolled, but but Turkey did the same thing, I think, in the fact that all those guys that have now come to aid the Type 59-2 were on this flank where I'm going to now. And for some reason, they're not even platooned, they all came back to help the Type 59-2. It was very random, it was a very random act of teamwork, and it caught us both out of the blue. Because at first he was very alone. Now again, I kind of get lucky there, because that Type 59-2, again, could have killed me so very easily. But luckily, I hit him on the move, and also high roll, so I could shut him down. It could have been the end of my game very easily then. As well as shutting down that, as well as putting 2 nice shots into that stockade, we're now out, because that that T-34-3 looks like he's on his way to come for us, and I'm not sticking around for that. I know there's a lurver somewhere around here, so we're just using the mobility of this tank to get round, and we've got through the buildings, and we're pumping a nice clip into him. And that is always nice when you manage to get a full clip into someone without taking a hit. It's always satisfying. And we're up to 3.5k damage now. We've got a nice clip into him, and he's shut down our Minuteman now, who we were trying to help out. And I'm kind of concerned that he might turn around and come for me, but I want to try and see if we can get another shot through this gap. Unfortunately, he just decides, I'm out. Goodbye, guys. He does not want anything that we're selling. But now he's decided to turn around, and we snap the nice shot into him. So that's 1, that's 2, and we're going to see if we can get any shots anywhere else. This T-34-3's on his jolly way, so we try and pop a shot at him, but we duck down low. We saw him come in and thought, we'll see if we can get this final shell into him, but if not, we're going to get out of the way. Duck down low. I knew I could duck behind that cover, and therefore he'd probably struggle to hit me. So when he spotted me last, I was going the other way. So I was kind of hoping he'd be looking the other way. We've got the full clip in. Unfortunately, the first shot got eaten by a building, but he gets shot by Turkey, and I shut him down. And we're up to 5 kills. 4k damage, 634 spotting, and we're just going after this last tank. Turkey with his magnificent drive in there, flips himself, and then lands perfectly back up on top. Oh yeah. That's the kind of driving you're here to see. So we ended that game with a high caliber ace tanker, 126,000 credits made. This is what I mean, the credit making potential of this tank is very nice. 1900 base XP, 23 shots fired, 20 hits, 20 pens, and just all round nice games for this tank. I really like it, it's a very good tank, and for me the burst of the autoloader is the best thing. So as always everybody, thank you very much for watching, I'll see you next time.